Hey guys, welcome to ItsMJAnime, and today we are doing the Attack on Titan newest episode review. And today we have my normal co-host Jack here, and then a new guest who's very excited to join the podcast today. Gary, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm new, special guest. These two put me on to anime, so I decided to hop on the review today since I'm all caught up. That's it.
Yeah, Gary just caught up to AOT. He's been grinding, and we got him here today for the episode review, and maybe we'll keep him on for the episode reviews in the future. It's up to him, but we'll see where it goes from here. All right, so let's get started. This episode, I definitely wasn't as hype as the other ones. There's not really much that can top the previous few episodes, but I feel like this was very necessary to the story. And what are your boys' general thoughts?
I think this, like you just said, I do think that this was a very necessary episode. It honestly kind of filled us in on what was happening during that 3-year time skip. And I think we got to see some of the old characters like Historia, and we got a little bit of info on some new characters. Like
Historia bugging, bro.
Bro.
Mappa did Historia dirty. I'm sorry.
It wasn't that bad. She really doesn't.
It did her a little bit dirty. But
it did Mikasa worse, but anyway. What's it called? Yeah, this brought in a little, some new characters and some good world building to the entire story.
Yeah, I agree with all that. It's perfect. I think it was perfect for the time they put it in. We got to see a little backstory. We got to see the previous events from the 4-year gap, of course. And it was 3 years back. We got a little more insight into the original plan and the leading up to episode 6, 7, and obviously from there. So yeah, I think it was a perfect episode. It wasn't as hype like Jack said, but it was awesome to watch. I think it was a perfect episode to put.
Yeah, I agree. So let's sort of go chronologically, I guess. So at the beginning, we get we've known that Marley has sent soldiers over to Paradise to sort of rescue the Colossal Titan and Female Titan, which they lost previously. So it's a little flashback to when they start that, but Paradise is very ready, and they actually massacre the naval fleet that comes after them and holds a few of them hostage. But there is a twist.
All right. So I'm pretty sure the twist you're talking about is with Yelena, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was pretty much part of the secret group along with Olenk, I don't know his name, the black dude.
That guy.
They're part of a secret group that kind of considers Zeke to be a god, probably because of his Titan, and also he does have royal blood. So they pretty much follow him to whatever he says, and they're pretty much trying to unite because they know Aaron's the founding Titan, and I guess the Jaeger bonds, they're technically brothers. So they think that they can try to use Aaron's power to bring Zeke's goal to life, but we don't really know what that goal is. So
One of my favorite parts in the episode 8 was definitely when Aaron revealed that he knew about Zeke having royal blood, and how he knew that when he touched Dina's Titan, that's how he got control of them. So that was just an interesting segment. That was probably my favorite part of the entire episode, to be honest.
That was definitely a good segment because, we always knew kind of what happened. It was never really explained back in season 1 or 2, whenever that happened. I forget exactly, but Aaron, we know that Aaron knows about it, and he sort of didn't really tell any of the scouts about it because I guess he was worried about Historia's safety.
Yeah.
But it kind of looks like from the beginning that Aaron's motives have driven him away from the scouts. And we just get more insight into that in this episode where, at the end we'll talk about it. But yeah, I think that was very cool with Yelena and Yankapone. It is very interesting to see that Marley sort of had people who rebelled against them. It was more world building, necessary background info that really explained how those two got introduced. We get a little bit of Sasha, which is
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I like that part a lot.
Oh, I think that was one of my favorite parts also. The altercation between Sasha's dad and Nicolo was awesome because it kind of showed peace. It showed his respect towards Sasha. So I mean, it was awesome to see that they kind of connected and they could build a relationship from there.
That's actually a great point, because I think that shows like that kind of contrasts what Gabby thinks and believes, that like Marleans and Eldians can't get along and they're two separate sections, even though she believes that like the people in Paradise are devils, obviously, but like they're Eldians just like her. It's a very interesting dynamic, and I don't know, like you said, Gary, it was awesome to see just sort of Sasha's legacy. I think they did her justice in this episode. I think there was a good balance of storytelling and remembrance of her. I think they did that well.
What are your thoughts, Miles?
Ooh, I don't really have any thoughts on that, but I think you guys summed that up well. Something that I'm surprised we haven't got to yet is Armin talking to Annie.
Yeah, that was a bit later. Let's talk about that now, actually, because I love that segment, because that was there was so much to break down in that, because I forget exactly what he said. Do you guys remember?
He said, "Talk to me." He was saying like he was asking her to talk back, but she wouldn't. Her eyes were still closed. And I don't think she really wants to talk. That's the thing. I don't think she could.
Don't you think
I think she could. I definitely do, but I don't think she wants to. That's the problem.
So you think that in the crystal they can talk? Like
I do think that. I think that could be a development that we see later.
No, because
as of right now, we really don't know, but
we know that they can move for a fact.
That's true, because Willie's sister, her eyes were moving. Yeah, that's true.
Well, she had reaction. Yeah, she was reacting to what happened when Aaron was eating her.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's true. Actually, I didn't realize that. Yeah, I'm glad we saw Annie. She's honestly one of my favorite characters in the show. I'm glad we saw her, and I think she said, or Armin was sort of reflecting, because this was this was after they returned to Paradise. I'm pretty sure it was a weird section where we got flashbacks between the scouts before the mission, and then Armin and Annie after the mission. It was sort of this weird time paradox, but I mean, so basically they're talking after the events in Marley, and Armin was sort of reflecting on, is this really peace, and like, is that what you guys saw that day? And when he was referring to Annie, he was referring to what happened when Annie, Bertolt, and Reiner massacred inside the walls when they first made their introduction.
So let me ask you guys a question. What are you guys most looking forward to seeing revealed, or something that you want to see happen in the next couple episodes?
I definitely want to see more Levi and Aaron debate, because I think their character rivalry is very interesting. I want to see more of how Aaron sort of persuade the scouts to go on this mission, because I think we definitely see the contrast in beliefs here. But what about you, Miles?
I want to see what's happening back at Marley, like what's up with the scouts, or what's up with the warriors there. Like, how do they feel about losing Falco, Gabby, and their war chief Zeke? Like, I think that's going to be something interesting to look forward to.
That's right, because none of them know that Zeke is a traitor except for Gabby and Falco.
Yeah, they think he's dead, so
that's right.
That'll be interesting.
I'm most looking forward to what Jack was saying. I want to see if Aaron and Levi can sort of build their relationship from here. I want to see if maybe some changes happen and we can get a further look into what happened in the past. I mean, that's got to be the biggest question in the show right now.
I have a question for you guys after Jack.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, you know how Armin got Berthold's Titan, right?
Yeah.
And you know how Berthold liked Annie.
Oh,
do you think that it's possible that it's a little bit of Berthold coming out in Reiner, or coming out in Armin talking to Annie?
Oh,
that's interesting, because in the episode they were talking about how Armin has access to Berthold's memories, as we know.
I was thinking about it.
That's interesting. I don't know.
I think that could be very direct. I mean, I was questioning what happened right there when it came to Aaron asking Armin if he could access his memories. And then the fact that he was talking to Annie actually may have cleared up a little stuff.
Yeah. It's interesting. We also get a conversation between Levi and Zeke, where it's again, it's just funny how I really like Zeke as a character. He's very charismatic, and he's like, I don't know, he's very smooth with his dialogue, and he knows like, I mean, he knows how to get under Levi's skin. I mean, I love Levi, but like, their arguments are actually pretty funny. Yeah, I think Levi is definitely sort of uptight that like he can't really fully defeat Zeke now, because like now they're on the same side. But I mean, we'll see. In the latter part of the episode, we get Aaron talking to himself in the mirror, which was what I wanted to talk about. I think this was like the main thing this episode, actually. Maybe not the main thing, but it was important regardless. We see the differences in the scouts and Aaron's thought process about how to deal with Marley. Aaron still very clearly has signs of vengeance inside of him, and like he wants to get revenge like he used to back when he was immature and kind of a brat. But I mean, it's very interesting because we know that he dragged the scouts into this. I don't know, it's just a very cool dynamic between the two groups and how they view Marley differently.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I like the fact that he's gone back to his immature ways. I feel like from season 1 to season 3, he had one of the best character developments. As you see him, his focus was more on other people, like with Historia, how he didn't want her to have to be hurt by becoming a Titan. And then we see this and how he just wants vengeance. So it's kind of just confusing where he is at this point in the show.
Yeah, he's definitely very complex.
I think that this shows, because this happened in the very end of the episode, where we got to see Gabby too, and we saw her reaction that is extremely similar to how Aaron was acting in the beginning of the show, where she was just pure rage, like she was super pissed off. And I think it's interesting that you bring it up, like how Aaron's reverting back to his old way, or how he's getting away from his old ways, but Gabby's kind of bringing in that role of like just she's restarting the cycle of hatred.
That's very true.
One thing that was most intriguing to me, also, I didn't bring it up earlier, was Falco. Falco knowing that not all people from the island are evil, knowing that the concept of that is totally false when he had the conversation with Reiner and Aaron. That was just super crazy because no one else knows that. He's the only one, and he tried to tell Gabby, and look where they are now. So I think that's going to be a huge storyline in the couple episodes to come. What do you guys think?
I mean, yeah, I think this was more apparent last episode. I think Falco, before Gabby, ripped my man Lobo, but Gabby, before she sort of obviously killed Sasha, Falco was trying to convince her that the ways that she was taught to think were absolutely wrong. And I feel like it's frustrating because you want him to do more, but again, he's a kid. He can't do as much as you want him to do. But I don't know. I like Falco as a character. I think he's pretty interesting. I think he's definitely caught between these two and is between these two sides. There's definitely a lot of emotional stress on him, and I'm interested to see what he does next. I also want to mention, at the end, Yelena and Onyankopon were sort of under gunpoint. Do you guys remember why? I don't remember exactly why. I know it had something to do with Zeke, and
I don't remember why, but I think it was because they were giving them the Titan serum, correct?
Yes, I think that's true.
So they probably didn't want them to, like, I don't know, maybe to run off with it or something, because I think we found out that Zeke can create Titans, right?
Can he?
Like, out of people.
I'm not sure about that, actually.
Remember when he dropped out of the plane in, like, the first episode?
That's right. I think that might have to deal with his royal blood, and I think Aaron still has the same capabilities. I'm not sure. That's very interesting. I mean, Zeke's still a mysterious character. I think the fact that they were still being held at gunpoint, even though they've been friends for like 3 years, it was just very interesting because we see that the scouts still have a sort of doubt that the Marleyans are Yelena, Nicolo, and Onyankompon are still against them. Yeah, I mean, is there anything else you guys want to mention about this episode?
No, I mean, I liked exactly what you just said. I agree. I mean, this episode was interesting because I feel like although it wasn't all action packed, we got more out of it than a lot of previous episodes. I mean, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think it wasn't obviously as action heavy, but I think it was necessary to the story.
Yeah.
What would you guys rank this out of 10?
I'd probably put it around an 8. I liked the format. I like that they told us about the backstory, but then they kind of changed it up a little bit. And then at the when we see Armin with Annie, so that was just an interesting part. What about you, Jack?
Probably say like a 7 to 7.5. I still think it was a good episode. I mean, I had no issues with it. I mean, it's necessary to the story. Like, what can I say? But
it's hard to live up to the other episodes. I'll tell you that. Like this season has had arguably some of the best episodes I've seen in the entire series. I mean, the 5 through 7 were just awesome episodes, action packed, and they were just, I mean, perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
So is that all?
I think that's it. So we're gonna wrap this episode review up. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Gary, for joining us. We appreciate the support. If you made it to the end, smash that like button, subscribe, and all the other stuff. It's MJ Anime, and we out of here.